Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Drive and Thrive. My name is Sam.
My name is Sam.
Sam squared. And this is our first episode of 2025.
Yep.
It's been a while since we did a show.
It has. Sam's been world traveling, so
We've been busy. I've been traveling. Sam's been traveling. We've
Yep.
kind of traveled on off times, and
Yep.
then we haven't been able to connect times, as well as we had a fire in our area, so we've been busy with that. And as you know, one of my other businesses or core businesses doing marketing for law firms, and so we've been doing a lot of advertisement for law firms.
So
getting fires.
has that affected a lot of your business? To like, have people been reaching out to you a lot because of the
Yeah, so we've
fires?
been running ads for our clients and asking people to sign up lawsuits against utility companies or insurance companies and things like that, that their house have been completely burned down. Some people lost their house. They didn't have insurance because they got canceled. So we're dealing with a lot of those types of
Yeah.
claims. And so we're trying to help people. And I know a lot of people out there think like attorneys are there to just take people's money. But obviously they make money for their services. But attorneys do care about getting people back on their feet
Right.
and helping them recoup money from companies that are, doing fraudulent shit.
That's so crazy, honestly. I mean, I've probably had a million combos about this,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna get too
Yeah.
in depth, but there's too many things that align
Yeah.
that happen.
I agree. I'm a
Where
conspiracy theorist.
I'm a tinfoil hat guy. Look,
Shit.
you got you defund the fire department by $17 million, right? Months before this happens, you
Cut the water source
cut the water source,
to help some animals instead.
the fish
The fish.
insurance,
Yeah.
right? And then, want to know something interesting? Warren Buffett, months before all this happened, he like invested in something. I don't know exactly, I forget, but he invested in something, almost kind of like knowing,
That was gonna happen.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I'm somewhat of a conspiracy theorist,
Yeah.
but I feel like if you follow the money and what's happening, we'll know in 5 to 10 years why the fire happened.
you always gotta follow the
Right.
money. And how is it that it's so eerily similar to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Why is it, like I have buddies, friends showing me videos on how the houses
Yeah.
burnt down.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get
Yeah.
too much into it because it's a sensitive subject. I feel so bad for like everyone that has lost their homes or affected them, and so that sucks. But I'm strictly talking about how it went down.
I know.
Like what?
We'll have conversations off topic.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like targeted for something.
For
but,
sure.
Our office, we're in Encino, so we actually had to evacuate for a few days.
No way.
Because the fire was coming down the hill from the Palisades fire. But luckily everything's okay.
Yeah.
So here we are today, a couple of weeks later.
That's so crazy. And then I might go to this. They're having the Genesis at Farmers. I mean, they're having Genesis at Tory this year.
I know.
That's so weird.
It is weird because they were like, oh, the air quality, and we have to make a decision. And so, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Torrey Pines that much. I played there a few times, and it's nice and beautiful. But, we just had the Farmers, right, open. And so do we want to play and watch golfers play twice?
It's so strange, honestly. And I think Torrey's cool. Like I played there in 2 tournaments. It used to be called a Buick Invitational. There's like a Buick Invitational Amateur. I played in that. I just feel like it's like going to Pelican Hill which is nice, but
It's not like special.
it's not a special.
Yeah.
I mean, not in my opinion,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I'm going to Kiowa Islands to play at Ocean Course next week, and I'll get some footages. And
Is your first time?
No, I played there before. I actually played in a Audi Quattro Cup tournament there, like 2010.
Dang.
And it's a 2-man alternating shot with Stableford points. And
Audi? It's ran by Audi?
Uh-huh. And so
What?
you have to win your local tournament. So people from all over is hosted by your local dealership. Then if you are the winner of that tournament, you go to the national tournament. So in the US, every year they have different tournaments in different locations, and it's all paid for by Audi.
Damn.
And then if you become top 2 or 3 in that tournament, you go to the world tournament. So me and my partner, we won the tournament in like, I don't remember. I think it was Bakersfield.
Yeah.
And then we went to the ocean course in Kiowa Islands. Then we took first place there out of like, I don't know, I think there was like 80 teams.
Oh my goodness.
So 80 different cities that was the winner of their tournaments. And me and my partner took first place. Then we went to Sardinia for the world tournament. And it's a private island. They paid like completely paid for like 5-star, like billionaire status type of trip with our wives. And it was pretty crazy. And we came in like, I don't know, 10th. But at that point, you didn't really win anything. So
like even if you won one, like you don't really.
You do. It was also co-sponsored by TaylorMade. So the winning team got like a whole set of like clubs and bags and all this stuff. But at that point, like when we got there, they treated us to airfare, hotel, private wine parties at like billionaire yacht parties where there's only 10 members at the yacht club. I mean, there's like crazy fireworks shows and wineries. And
what is this? Is this a corporate event? Like, what is this?
it's a corporate event.
Oh my goodness.
And
it sounds like a
so
amazing
US
tournament.
stopped it for like a little while and it came back. And it's off of handicap and it's a Stableford alternating shot with points. And so it was pretty cool. Me and my partner participated like 4 years. We won our local tournament twice. One time we were at Aviera for the national, and the other one was at Kiowa. And then Sardinia trip was like the world one, and so they paid for I mean, it was pretty crazy. We had private chauffeurs on the island of Sardinia, in their Audis and their race car drivers.
That's
and so like,
crazy.
and we had these like crazy. And I'll put the post up because I have actually footages of these event when we went. It's like 2010, long time ago.
It's a top 100 course.
Yeah.
Like how? Okay, hold on. Let me ask you this. In the past like year, how many top 100 courses have you played? Kiowa.
I played Kiowa.
Hilton Head.
Hilton at Harbortown. Then
Pebble.
I played Pebble. Bandon Dunes. Like all the courses there.
Didn't you play another course around Pebble?
Monterey Peninsula.
Monterey Peninsula.
That's like top 10, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think most of the courses I played outside of California are like top 100 because
Yeah.
at a certain point, I only want to travel to play like nice courses.
Yeah.
Because, I'm actually turning 50 this year. So 50 and I can still move around, enjoy golf. So I'm trying to,
50's
bucket
still
list.
young.
It is
like,
young.
Super young.
And then a special that we're going to do in end of February or mid-February, we're going to go to Vegas.
I'm so excited.
We're going to play the Wind Golf Course and
Shadow
Shadow
Creek.
Creek. And we're going to film that whole process.
Yeah.
We're going to do a collaboration with our other podcast, which is Scared Money, Don't Make Money.
Nice.
So we have our guest, Angelo.
Yeah.
So we're going to
He's a big gambler.
He's
I
a
heard.
big gambler.
I love it.
So we'll film golfing and gambling at the same time.
I love it.
And we'll do like a bet competition between like, like it might be you and me versus Sonny and Angelo.
Yeah.
And we'll
Is Sonny playing too?
Yeah, so it'll be
Nice.
4 of us, and then we'll do some kind of a bet at both courses.
I hope I get my clubs by then, but
From Callaway?
yeah, I'm hoping.
Well,
Hopefully,
are you? So you're now repping Callaway.
Callaway.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be repping Callaway pretty much to the fullest. The team is really good. I'm gonna be using the ball from ball, putter to driver. Everything.
So I use Chrome Soft balls, but I use the soccer balls. The ones with the prints.
You like them?
So that's the only balls I play with. Like I buy it from like this guy who like does resales, and I have like every type of like prints on it.
Callaway's I think Callaway is the best. I mean, I'm biased, but I think it's the best company. Just
You
from
think so?
If you put everything together.
Okay.
There could be some other things that other variables, other companies could have a good driver or whatever, but I think overall Callaway has the best.
Okay, so in my bag, so you had PXGs last year. I'll tell you what I had for the last 5 years. I had Callaway irons. I had the Apex, and then
You had the Paradigm driver.
I had the Paradigm driver, but then I switched to a Ping recently, last year, and then I use a 3-wood Ping. Is the I think the 430 or something, G430, and then but recently I changed to TaylorMade, the P770s, and I've been hitting really well with it. So
They go far, don't they? Because I remember.
I don't know. It's like the same distance as the Apex,
Yeah.
but I like the face being a little bit thinner, almost like a blade, versus the Apex I had. Apex was a little bit fatter because I wasn't using the Apex Pro. Apex Pro is like the better version. Which one do you know? Which one you're getting? Or
I don't even honestly don't.
you're getting
even know.
it fitted?
I know I'm getting. Yeah, I'm getting the. I know I'm getting the Elite driver. That's the
Okay.
only thing I know. I don't know what irons I'm getting or wedges.
Okay.
I'm excited to get the wedges though because Roger Cleveland is still making the wedges.
Yeah.
I know one of the guys in there who grinds the wedges and like really formulates it. His name is Garrett. Because I used to be with Callaway when I competed.
Okay.
So I have like a bunch of wedges from back in the day. They just know how to grind and make the wedges interact with the turf really well. There's tendencies like especially if the builder is the same, like for instance, Cleveland, they make good wedges.
Yeah.
It's a little diggy for me.
Yeah.
The Vokies, they look good. I never liked Vokies though, but they look good.
Yeah.
Same with the Scotty Cameron putter. I think it looks good. It's just
You can't hit.
the feel of it. Again, I'm going to be biased, but the Odyssey white insert face, I really like it. I really like that soft feel.
So I had the Broomstick Odyssey that I played for 2 years.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I just recently changed also.
You're putting regular now?
No, I got a Broomstick lap putter.
Lap
now.
putter. How was that?
I don't know. So far, I've been playing pretty good.
I hear a lot of
Yeah.
good things.
It feels good. It comes off the face nice, and I'm used to it. I like the weight distribution. So I don't know. I've been playing pretty good. Like last Saturday, I played at Porter Valley. I shot an 80, which is pretty decent for me.
You're not a type of guy you want to bet money against.
Yeah,
I don't want to bet against you. We're not betting against each other.
I'm a good match play player because my score goes anywhere from like low 70s to high 90s or mid 90s.
You just take away 2-3 holes and then you're good.
I'm like scratch.
That's crazy.
Because I have 3 or 4 holes that I might get double to quad, and that's what increases my score. But rest of the other holes, I'm like par, birdie, maybe bogeys, but like it's just like 3-4 holes where I get the doubles to quad that throws my score off.
Do you play well at because you've played Wind and Shadow Creek multiple times?
Yeah, I tend to actually play better at nicer courses because the conditions are better.
Yeah, you're like more motivated to play well.
And mentally you're like, damn, this like fairway feels like carpet, so I want to hit this. Whereas you go to some like courses and the fairway's all messy and shitty.
Yeah,
you're like, man, this is a fairway, and mentally you're already like, oh, I don't even want to play here. Or it's like, oh, it's such a bad lie versus like Harbor Town when we went. Like any of those nice courses this past year, you go like, man, you feel like you're just walking on carpet.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm so excited to go. I can't wait to like talk with you about what we're gonna do. Obviously, we're gonna film a Drive and Thrive episode, but I'm excited to like just hit shots out there because the views are probably so sick.
Yeah, because you're in the middle of the desert. One course is a Wind Resort course. It costs, I think, $1,000 or $800 around.
That's crazy.
It's in the middle of the strip. Yet when you're playing at it, there's so many trees. So unless you're looking up at the hotel, or now you see the Sphere, you don't know you're in Vegas because it's so amazing. Like you're like, dude, this is like I would say it's one of the best resort courses.
Wind. I've never played Wind. And Shadow, I've had my product in there for 2 years and I've never even stepped foot on the property.
Really? They never really they never invited you?
I never really asked.
Okay.
But it's expensive.
Right, Shadow is like $1,200 or $1,300.
Goodness.
And you have to be a gambler and stay on an MGM property to be able to play there. So I played there multiple times. It's a fun course. Every hole is separated, whereas like like even when it's like cross,
you can kind of see the other hole. Wow.
At Shadow, pretty much every hole is a separate hole. You can't see other holes.
So do you like shadow more than wind?
I do like shadow better than the wind, but I think both courses are great. You just got to drive it a little bit further out.
Yeah.
Wind is convenient. You play, you're in the hotel already, you're done, you're playing, whatever.
Where's shadow at? Is it like in Henderson?
Shadow is like 15 to 20 minutes off the strip. So,
Really?
So a limo has to take you there from the MGM property.
It has to be a limo, right?
It has to be a limo.
Can't be an Uber.
No, you can't drive there. They won't let you in.
Oh, it's got to be like an MGM limo.
MGM limo.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's like a whole process.
So I get to live 2-day lifestyle of Sam.
Yeah, it'll be
Samtastic life.
It'll be fun.
I'm excited. Oh my goodness.
And it's gonna be fun because we're gonna do a whole like collab, like I said, with Scare Money.
Yeah.
And so we've done it with Angelo where he plays high limit slots and stuff. And
Can't wait.
We're gonna film that, and it'd be fun.
I might be equally excited for that.
Yeah.
I love watching
You
that.
like watching it?
My buddy, I'm not gonna name his name, but he took me up to Cosmo High Rollers.
Yeah.
He said, just come up. I got a buddy that I'm hosting. Like, just watch him gamble, and then we'll go eat. I'm like, okay. So we go, and this guy, he's from China, and apparently, I could be mistaken, but he invented the mouse roll. You know, like the thing.
Yeah.
He was an older guy too.
Yeah.
And I was just watching him play baccarat, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like walking in, not really expecting anything. It is high rollers. And he's betting 100,000 a hand.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my goodness, 100,000 a hand is stupid.
Yeah.
And then I saw him lose like maybe $1 million. And then he said, hey, let's go eat lobster. I'm bored. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like my heart was like sinking.
It's crazy, right?
Are you okay?
I don't bet that big.
I was gonna ask, like, what is your taste? Like, what is your talk me through what Sam does when he has time to go onto the casino floor. I want to know.
Well, right now it's different than when I did like 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
You used to be crazier 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, so back in the day, and I have pictures, like we would have a bankroll of like $300,000-$400,000.
We like a marker? They'd give you a marker?
No, we have cash there.
Oh my.
And so we would play craps. Our strategy was, let's use a bankroll and play conservative and win money, right? So we would play craps, don't pass. So we're playing with the house, and we want to hit the point and then crap out, or 7 out, whatever they call them. So we would bet like $1,000 to $2,000 on don't pass. And we have a different strategy, but if you watch our Scare Money podcast, you can see it. But like we would bet, then we would, if we lose, we double up, and we double up. And so because we have a big bankroll,
You could just do it till you.
We would ask the casino, like, hey, just, make sure the limit is high.
Yeah.
So then we would, there was one time we went up to like, we hit the point like 3 or 4 times. So we went from like 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000. I think it went to 32,000. So we were down about 100,000, and we got lucky and hit. But then it was kind of like, damn, we could have ended up losing 200,000 or something like that overall. And so we're like, okay, let's just slow down a little bit. But normally we would make about $30,000 to $40,000 out of the bankroll, which is about 10%, right?
That's insane.
So imagine if you had a bankroll of 10,000 and you can make $1,000,
Oh.
right? Like $100, right? $1,000 to $100 is 10%. Then you can walk away. But who wants to walk away with 10% from 1,000? But for us, if I had 400,000 and we walk away with 10%, that's 30 or 40,000. For 30 or 40,000, like one time we took our wives and we won 35 or 40,000, and we were like, let's go to the Chanel shop. And then we said,
just get you whatever you want.
yeah, we said, everyone pick one bag you want. And then the person was like, what? For real? It's like, yeah, we just won like 40 grand at the craps table.
So, okay.
Well, I just went back. I went to Vegas like last weekend for my son's golf tournament.
So did you go? Were you at Fontainebleau?
I was at Fontainebleau because they're trying to recruit new players, but I didn't really bet big. I just played like small, $200 to $300 to $400 hand on blackjack.
Blackjack?
And
Did you come up? Or?
I lost. It was really bad. I had some really bad beats, but it was fun. But yeah, so So for gambling in Vegas, I don't go crazy anymore. If I lose a few $1,000, I'm done. If I win a few thousand, great. I think the most I've ever won in a blackjack run is probably like 35 or 40,000, and then on craps is like, winning like 30 to 40,000.
So this is my question. Actually, I have two questions because this is like such a fascinating topic for me. When let's say that you lose 30,000, 40,000, right? Which has happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you're at Aria, for instance, because I usually stay at Aria.
Okay.
You lose 40,000, you're at the craps table. Obviously, there's floor managers, right? There's constant people saying, hey, you want to play this card or whatever?
Yeah.
What does losing that money equate to, like, when the floor manager comes and, like, points, all that? Like, do you get a lot of comp stuff? Like, what happens? Because I never lost that much.
Oh, comps?
Yeah, like, what happens with the comps?
Okay, so the Vegas trip is like, comps are better. They care more about how many hours you play and the average bet per hour you play.
More than the amount?
The amount.
Really?
I mean, they do care about the amount, but if you lose 30,000, let's say in 1 hour, versus playing $1,000 hands for like 8 hours a day for 3 days, they prefer the latter guys. Because you have a chance to lose more.
They got that data.
Yeah, they got the data.
You gamble like that.
Yeah. So it's different, but I would
you
say
get free rooms all the time or no?
Yeah. I would say like in 15 years of Vegas, I've gotten all the nice rooms and perks and some of the rooms that people can't even dream of or have ever seen in life. Like I have videos of it, and you'll see one of the rooms this weekend or in February when we go.
Are we just staying in like one big room?
We're trying to see what we're gonna do.
Got you.
But we have. Yeah.
I'm okay with like sleeping on the couch, just so you know. I've done it many times.
Really?
Yeah. Like I've done it many times.
No, but we're not gonna do that. But it'd be fun. So I'm excited about that. I know for you this year, 2025, you have big goals, big plans. You have some sponsorship changes for your own social media stuff.
Yeah.
And new brands and new products you want to do. Like what's kind of exciting for you? I know the PXG to Callaway change is one of them. Samsung.
Yeah. Funny you say that. So I'm wearing socks.
Okay.
So I made some socks. I've email blasted all my customers. It was a pretty good. It's been pretty good with the feedback. Okay. They've been liking them. But aside from that, my YouTube channel, we signed with Vortex. Is actually a military scope company. Like they do scopes, but they started making rangefinders. Okay. So we work with Vortex. There's a couple other companies I'm talking with. Yeah. Nothing is set, but yeah, I'm trying to get with an apparel company with fitness. Okay. Yeah. So I'm talking to multiple brands there. Nice. Yeah. But I'm trying my goal this year is not to depend so much on brands. Yeah. And it's like tapping in with Sam more here because, I could work with brands all day. Yeah. And I could help build other companies all day. But it always comes back to what are you doing? Right. Like, what are you doing with whether it's a digital or physical product? Right. Like, I always come back to that. Right. Because you can, I love working with all these companies, but at the end of the day, every time you don't work on your stuff and you're working on other people's stuff, you're just delaying what you could build your empire, which is like, it's more steady in the long run. Yeah. Like one-offs, 1 year contract. That's why those NBA players are like, dude, I don't want a 1 year contract, 10-day contract. I want a 5-year deal. So I know where I'm at.
It makes sense because I think that's what when I was doing my career coming up in my 20s after college and stuff, I worked for companies. Yeah. And it was good for a while, and I felt like, oh man, I'm important. I'm like important to the team and the executives and and I took a company, helped go public and all this stuff. And I was like number 10 in the company, and we had 20,000 employees within 3 years, and we went public, all this stuff. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I didn't really make that much money. You know what I'm saying? But
with all the work that you did?
With all the work I did, right? So I think I learned early on that even though I went IPO and made some money, the guys who made the real money were the real owners that made a ton of money.
Right.
And I'm grateful for that experience, for learning it and what I learned. But the extra thing I learned as I moved on was like, hey, if I'm doing this for them,
Right.
just like you just said, I can do this for myself
Right.
and make money as well.
Right.
So I think in the first 3-4 years after being called out of college, I was helping other companies grow. But as I gained experience from there, I said, okay, I gotta invest in myself.
Yeah.
And that's when things started to shift. And it was like harder and more risk and like more stress.
It's a ballsy move.
Right? Ballsy,
It's
right?
a non-safe route.
It's non-safe because
Yeah.
I don't know, back in 2001 or 2002, if you made 75,000 a year, I was in my early 20s. I'm like,
It's a lot of
it's
money.
pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But then you're going to be capped,
Mm.
right? And so after that, I went on my own. I had a few different partners, different types of businesses, did really well. And even on my first year going on my own, I think I made 300,000.
Wow.
And then it just kind of like jumped. But then obviously from there, it was like millions of dollars to loss of millions of dollars. And you got to have thick skin. You have to be ballsy to keep doing what you're doing. Otherwise, it's hard because you get stressed.
I think this is a great topic because this is a personal question I have for you. And I think it's a lot of people in my position would ask this question. So you grew up in an era where there wasn't social media, right? At least there wasn't like Instagram, none of that.
There was no iPhones.
Nothing, right? Like you were literally just, internet was barely coming up at that time, right?
Yeah.
Not to date you, but like barely. So I find that so crazy because I find myself being very an ADHD mindset. And what I mean by that is, okay, I have these brand deals, right? I'm working with these companies, which is cool. It's paying the bills. And then I have my company, right? This day and age, I feel like a lot of people in my position that has a small business, but also is like a content creator, we always all of us say, okay, well, because I'm doing the content and I have followers and I have Instagram, I'm growing my following that will help my brand, right?
Yeah.
As I'm getting older and I'm doing this more, I'm kind of realizing that it's like, it's a yes and no because it's taking away, like doing this, it doesn't actually equate exactly to this.
Yeah.
I could get more followers, but then are you funneling it to where you could actually be making the money, right? Like, what do you think about that? If you were to talk to me about like, okay, Sam, you're doing this stuff, you're doing the Instagram, that's great, but you also have this story, like the brand.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you're going to tell me right now, but I almost feel like you would tell me like, Sam, like focus on your brand. Don't do anything else.
I think there's two folds to that question because I think personal brand is important to this day and age in the digital world with social media, internet, and everything. Back in the day when I was growing up and building my career, there was no such thing as a personal brand because how do you promote yourself without money?
You're not going to the streets being like, hey, I'm Sam.
Look at me, right?
Yeah.
But with social media, it's much easier right now. So even someone with no money can get on and create like interesting content. And all of a sudden you got all these followers because there's tons of people who find you interesting, right? So I think building a brand right now is important. But at the same time, I think you have to, like, it's almost like social media image and branding. You're someone different. It's like you're, different persona of you, right? Because that's not who you really are, maybe.
Right.
But then who you really are is this other person who's more like entrepreneur and business, and it's not the guy who's funny and doing things and joking around and having fun on the golf course. But it's like the serious side of Sammy is like, oh damn, I want to make money. I gotta push my products. I gotta do this. So I think it comes in hand together with your personal image and brand of what you're building out to the public. But then you kind of marry that together with your business and entrepreneur side and be like, okay, I have access to all these things because of my brand. Now, how do I put those connections, networks, and the know-hows of the people I met through my personal brand into a business that can be scalable and profitable, right? And I think if people can figure that out, that's amazing. Like, obviously, there's different types of influencers, right? You got guys like Mr. Beast who create content with all this stuff, and he's gonna make billions of dollars, right? Like,
billions.
That's different, right?
Different. He's trying to buy TikTok even.
Exactly. But then you have like somewhat like below him that are making different kind of content, and they're making tens of millions of dollars.
Right.
And then you have other types of people who are like OnlyFans, and different types of people who make like crazy amounts of people, but they're selling sex and who they are. So I don't know if that's what you want to become.
Right. Definitely not. Yeah.
And then you have like the lower tier influencers, right? That are making, let's say, mid to low 6 figures to low 7 figures. And those are like, how do I maintain my status of that and still be able to do other things? But it's because in the beginning, it might be enough money, but it might not be completely enough to like retire.
Right. It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Right.
And after a certain number of years, maybe 5, 7, 8 years, you're irrelevant again.
Right.
And you're like, damn, what do I do with all this money?
Right.
So you kind of have to be like important. You have to like manage your time and money like athletes.
Like to a T, huh?
Right? Because someone who's a football player or an NBA player, you have a lifespan of like maybe 5 to 7 years, unless you're a superstar.
Right.
You might have made $5 to $10 million, but you could have blown it all. Right. So then, if you don't know any other skill sets, or you never used your connections and network you had, then you're never gonna make something for the future.
Right.
And so I would say for you, you're kind of like at that, not entry level, but you're like a little bit, not even at halfway of your life, of your career. And so you're figuring things out, and you got to now figure out how to marry those two things together so that you can make money for a sustainable income, right? So like, okay, your personal brand is good. You get more followers. You got all these sponsorships. Okay, now you met all these people. So how do you now put those things together with your brand story, and how do you make that scalable with other products or other types of things, like you said, clothing lines and other things that you can collaborate with different companies. And I don't know, there's a lot of different things you got to figure out.
So I've never said this out loud, and I'm going to ask for your advice right now. So there's something I'm trying to structure, and it's a subscription based. Okay. And so this is how it's going to go down. I think the thing that's been gnawing at me, literally since I want to say, since October, I've been thinking about this October every day.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out, I'm overthinking it, but I'm trying to figure out the structure where it's a subscription model, whether the platform be Instagram, off my own website, YouTube, whatever, it doesn't matter. I want to build a subscription plan where it's $5 a month, and that $5 is an entry for Sam for monthly giveaways.
Yeah.
And I highlight 4 to 5 brands that are involved for this month, right? So whether it be like my guys at Pluto Golf Shoes, Vessel Golf, Callaway Golf Balls, Story Sleeves, right? I choose 5 winners.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the reason for the $5 is because it's still my time, my energy, organization. Yeah. I got to make some kind of money if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But for the consumer, do you think it'd be worth it for you, right? Let's say, hey, I'm going to pay $5 a month. That gets me to entry to possibly win 2 dozen golf balls or a golf bag, golf shoes. And the people that don't win, I'm going to bring value by giving a substantial discount code to these brands, right? Do you think that's something that you would be interested in, or do you think that's...
I mean, I think it can be, but I don't know if I would like...
You wouldn't jump at it.
I don't know if I would jump at it.
Got you.
The only reason is because there's only limited amount of products.
Yeah.
Let's say you have 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Paying $5. How are you gonna pay? I mean, then you got like 4,950 people who are like, man, I didn't get anything. You know? So then how do you determine who gets what, right? So then I feel like, well, unless you got a lot of stuff to give away, maybe it's not, the value's not there.
Yeah.
But now if we change it a little bit, so in that same mindset, so we say, hey, guess what? if you subscribe to your service, once a month we do a random drawing, and you get to come to a round of golf with you too. And wherever we go, let's say we go to Vegas, you guys someone can come and go golf as Shadow or win with us,
right?
Or like any of the things that we do in the near future, whatever we plan,
right?
You say you can be part of this experience, right? Because then it's like, okay, that's worth it.
Like $5 to win, like hey, you get to like. You could come to win, play golf, get a
free
room,
everything,
whatever.
Yeah, free everything.
That's a good point,
right?
Yeah.
So
I like that.
I think products and services, and then you kind of work with the different sponsorships we can get, or you can get for products, and say, hey, I got now a reach of like 5,000 people that are giving me money.
Right.
So maybe part of the 5,000 is also like, hey, let's buy stuff at a wholesale price, and let's give those out too, and do partnerships with sponsorships with different companies. And if you have more things to give away, then I think people would do it. But who knows? Like if there's 5,000 people joining it and you're only giving away 10 things a month, they're like, yeah, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, because like I always think about this. This is the reason why I haven't done it yet. I look at a $5 subscription, even like on apps. Yeah. And it's $5.
It adds up, right?
But it's like you feel like you got had when you forgot to cancel it.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I didn't cancel that.
I paid $60 last year.
Yeah, exactly.
What did I get out of it?
Nothing, right? Yeah, that's true. I'm still thinking on that. I just feel like the main denominator of this talk for me is to take the following and community and make it my own. Because ultimately, when
I will say this though, okay, I like your thought process. So let's say your partnership with Callaway. Every listener, hopefully, that watches our podcast plays golf, right, or at least has attempted. Right. Callaway is a great brand, you said. Right. So maybe you do a partnership with Callaway. If you're a subscriber, our subscribers will get a 20% discount off of products, right? So it's kind of like being a member at AAA. You get discounts at hotels and rental cars. Right. But if you listen to this, or your followers can pay for $5. So I would pay $5, even $60 a year, if I can get 20 to 30% off of clubs or accessories. Because if you're buying a whole set, let's say I probably spent like $5,000 on my set and everything. Okay. Right. So if I got 20 or 25% or 30% off, that makes up my 30%, $60 I would have paid for the subscription for the year. Right.
And it's got to be a big company like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're a golfer, you're okay using Callaway balls for more than okay.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe we talk about this off camera, like in depth. Yeah. Because I could use your help, but I think the actual model of this isn't hard. I think the structurizing and keeping up with it is tough. Because if I do get to 5,000 people, let's say, that's still a database you got to upkeep. It's not like it's just, oh yeah, you gave me $5, that's it. Yeah. So
no, because I did personally sign up for a few subscriptions on Instagram, and I don't feel like I really got anything.
What was the?
I don't want to say, but it was just one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know if this person's subscription was really worth it.
How long did you cancel it? Like, how long did you go till you canceled it?
I don't think I even canceled it. Because it's like $5. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
that's how they get you.
I should probably just cancel it. But like another one that I have subscriptions for I never cancel is, I think, what's that workout video company that has like
P90X?
Yeah, the Beachbody.
Beachbody.
So Beachbody is the main company for all those exercise videos, right? So I used to buy all these videos and work out, and I like it works if you do it. So, but each program costs like $100, right? But now they went to a subscription model for where you pay $120 or $100 a year
to have access to
all the videos on streaming. Yeah. So I signed up 3 years ago.
Wow.
And I still pay every year.
Yeah.
And you know how many times I've used it?
How many?
Twice.
Well, that's another good point, because on TikTok they have a series thing where you can sell a series. Yeah. I was even thinking about making like a short game series, like 3 episode and for $10.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I mean,
some
I think
pay
people
it.
would pay $10 for a 3-course. Like, I mean, people. I'm not gonna lie, people pay me a lot of money to play golf, 18 holes. So there's so many avenues that I can go. I think my problem is I just need to be focused and do one thing first.
Yeah.
And that's my model. That's my motto this year is don't think too much, just do.
Yeah.
Because I overthink things and it's just stupid. It's like you're not getting anything done overthinking. Like nothing's gonna happen actually.
I think as an entrepreneur, that's one of the biggest advice I would give to other growing and budding entrepreneurs is that you will feel like you need to plan things and it has to go to plan.
Yeah.
And you like take all this time to plan this organization or this business model or campaign. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, it has to go step A, step B, step C, and then it's going to be successful. Right. And they're like, man, if it doesn't do that, it's a failure. And they're like, damn, but I can't figure this part C out, so let's not start.
Right.
And so I would say no. In entrepreneurship, things like just in life, it's gonna go up and down and change, and like different circumstances happen that you never even thought about. You just have to dive in, and it's like from here to here. It's not this straight line. It might go like this, and then finally get there. And you might want to get there like in 6 months or 12 months, but it might get you in 6 years. You don't know.
Yeah.
But like, if you're passionate about it, you gotta just dive in, just do it, and figure it out. And so I'm a big component of like investing your time and money into your what you're passionate about, because then it will work out, because you're gonna not let it die. But if you think everything has to be perfect to plan, you will fail, and or you might never start.
Yeah, you're talking. You're like literally talking to my soul right now, because I talked to my wife last night.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, babe, there's so many things that I could do, and that's actually a problem. It's like I need to just shut up and like do.
Yeah.
And you know, actually, it's so funny you say this. I'm learning about you more. You know, as the years go by. You know, I think it's been over a year.
Yeah.
What I admire about you is like your pace. Like we'll text.
Yeah.
You're like, Sam, let's go here, and I'm like, oh, I'm not ready. Like, but I like that, because you're just like, hey, I thought about it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow your pace, because, you know, that pace is, it's like fear. It's like being fearless.
Yeah.
You know, and I think golf taught me from struggling.
Yeah.
It taught me to be cautious, because before I struggled, I was very aggressive. Like I had no fear in my mind, nothing. And golf, I think it's a healthy amount of fear it taught me, but it almost got me to a point where it's too much. Yeah. I need to get back a little bit to my old self and be in the middle. You can't be too risk mitigated. Like you can't be thinking like that too much.
I agree, because I think a person's golf game says a lot about your personality.
Yeah.
So if you play golf with me, I'm a very fast golfer.
Yeah.
I like things like, I don't like to overthink, because like when I learned golf sometime in the middle, like few years, like 20 years back, I overthink everything. Like I'm like, dude, my stance, my grip, everything is like, and when you overthink in a golf swing, instead of just going and doing it, like you mess up more, right? And then you keep thinking about it, your last shot, and what did I do wrong, and this and stuff, and it just ruins your game.
Right.
But when I got to a point in golf where like I'm just going there, I work it out before I play, range or whatever, practice sessions, and then I go and just do what I practice. Then guess what? Boom, scores are better. Boom, boom. Obviously, you have bad days in golf, but like I enjoy my golf game more when I'm just in sync and just go with the flow.
Right.
And just like the entrepreneurship of the craziness to get to your goal. Golf, you want to hit the fairway and you want to hit the green and you want to one putt for a birdie, right?
Right.
But 9 out of 10 times, you're not hitting the fairway, you're not hitting the green, but you still figure out how to get up and down on par, right? And par is not a bad score, but if you have, every now and then you have birdies, those are the big wins, but par, you stay the course, and then you get bogeys, but after the bogey, you recoup for the next hole and figure out how to get pars again and birdies again. That's a win, right? And that's how you do 18 holes and get to an even score or under.
Yeah.
But that's this game of entrepreneurship. Same thing, because every hole, every campaign, everything, every strategy, every idea you have might not be a birdie, it might be a double, it might be a quad. But then you recoup, refocus, and go back and like, let's make the next one be a birdie or be a par. And that's a good analogy of like what entrepreneurship is, you know?
Yeah, you just explained it perfectly. You just said right before the golf terminology, you said if you try to plan, like see, and you can't figure it out, you don't do it. It's like golf. It's like, yeah, I'm going to plan to be in the fairway.
Yeah.
I'm going to plan to be on the green.
Yeah.
Why would I plan to be bad?
Exactly.
But you don't know, your ball could roll in the divot in the fairway. Your ball could be behind a tree. Like you got to pivot.
You can hit a sprinkler head and bounce left and be out.
Yeah.
But then you're like, okay, how do I now focus and still come back on track?
Right.
And I think that's the key.
Yeah, that is it's so crazy because I've lived a life, 2 different lives in my opinion thus far. I lived the golf competitive life and then now the entrepreneur life.
Yeah.
And there's this path you go, and then there's always this path where it's like a little rocky because you need to level up. Yeah. It's never smooth.
Yeah.
And with entrepreneurship, I'm kind of feeling that. I'm feeling like, oh, I've done really well, but you know that you gotta level up, and it's hard to level up. Yeah. And that's when you start scrambling. You're trying things that you're uncomfortable and you feel insecure. Like like more than anybody. And I think that's kind of where I'm at with entrepreneurship with my brand. It's like I have to figure out which direction it is. No one's telling me. Right.
Yeah. And there's tiers of entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. Especially because you're like in the early stage. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you're like have 2 lives right now, and you're kind of in the infant stage of your second life, right? Mm-hmm. So you probably made more money than you thought you were gonna make ever in doing your own business.
Right. Never even thought.
Yeah. And you're like, damn, I did this. I created a brand, and I started selling product, and now I'm making X number of dollars. You're like, yeah, I didn't think I can do that. So then once you're over that shock of like, damn, I can do this. Yeah. Then now you get to the next level. You're like, okay, now let's regroup and figure out what did I do to get to this point, and how do I level up, and how do I focus on like, I got 24 hours in a day. How do I want to spend it so that I can scale to the next level? So like, let's say if you made $1 million, now you're like, how do I get to $5 million? Right. And you're like trying to replicate what you did for $1 million, but do it 5 times better or more. Right. And you say, okay, that's the next level. Once you hit 5 million, the way I did was, it was like 1 million, then 5 million. Then you're like, okay, now how do I get to 10 million? Right. Now you're getting to eight figures, right? Yeah. And then once you get to 10 million, you're like, dang, I could do this. Oh. And this is like all within a span of like 3 to 4 years. And then all of a sudden, oh, I can go from 10 million to $50 million. Right. Or you can go from 10 to 25, but like, 10 to 50 million. And then as you get older, my age, I'm like, okay, now how do I get from 50 million to $100 million? Then 100 million to $1 billion. So like my goal you were trying
to get to billion, right?
That's my goal is the billion, right? So like I've done hundreds of millions of dollars in business. And now my goal back in 2020, which was like 5 years ago, was like, how do I get to $1 billion in revenue in the current business and valuation $1 billion by time I'm 60? Right? So I'm 50. I got 10 more years.
So every day it's going towards that.
That's my goal. Because I always say shoot high, because if I shoot high and fall short, let's say I fall short of $1 billion, I still got 500 million at half point.
Instead of trying to keep the 100 million.
Right? Yeah, it's still not bad for 500 million. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Sam, you need an assistant. Every year, like in December, I look back at the year, obviously see what's worked, see what didn't, blah, blah, blah. I want to know how you look at things, because obviously it's a different scale. But for me personally, I can name off the top. I've been looking at, okay, these giveaways have worked with a certain demographic of influencer, right, to promote my product. Seeding product with certain influencers have worked, right, organically. People that you really got to screen and be like, oh, this guy's the perfect person to wear the sleeve. Number 3, certain I'm starting to understand better of the demographic of the clubs that sell the product, right? Because I think one of the first things you told me was focus on what's working and go heavier in that. So my mindset right now is, okay, I could go a million other ways, but let's see what's working and maybe 10x in that field. Is that kind of how you look at your business?
Yeah, so I look at the same way in anything, because I look at kind of like, you start off with this like a shotgun approach. You spray and see what hits, right? At that point, you narrow it down to what hit, and then like, okay, instead of spending say $20,000 on ads on across 10 different things, out of all the money I spent, 3 of them work really well. So now let's spend the next 10,000 on the 3 that work really well. Out of the 3, let's see what turned out better.
Right.
And then you'll identify 1 or 2 winning campaigns or strategies that worked. Then you spend 100,000 on that. Then now you make 10 extra money, right? So like something like what you're doing with the sleeves, I would say, okay, like you have key players in pickleball or different players, right? Do a collab with them, like a partnership. Say, hey, I'm gonna make your brand out of sleeve, and I'm gonna give you a discount code. So then you go sell to your followers, saying like, hey, I love this sleeve. I made my own with a collab with Story, and these are the best because of XYZ.
Right.
Go get it at his store for my particular brand. So you give him a link, and then put in the discount code, and you'll get 20 or 30% off. Right?
Yeah.
So then now you got a guy who has maybe 50,000 followers in pickleball, let's say, and you customize a brand of sleeve for him, and he's giving his followers a discount code.
Right.
Guess what? People are going to go buy it.
They're going to go buy it. I get that data. And they're going to probably come back if they like it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's... Yeah, this year I need... that's actually like my main focus. Is because you told me when we were playing golf, you're like, there's... At this moment in time, if I had all the money, of course, I would focus on all these courses and online. But what's the bread and butter is B2C for me right now. Yeah. So I got to focus more on that. Yeah. Right. So it's about being efficient.
But I saw on your Instagram this week, like you made sleeves for the live golf tournaments and the teams, right? So then you say, hey, to promote it, do you give any royalties to them? Or no? Or they just make it?
I just make it. I make it for them.
Oh, but you can't sell their sleeves?
No, I can't sell those sleeves, but I think this year is going to be interesting.
I think you approach Live Golf and say, hey, I'm already making the sleeves for you. Can I sell your sleeves? Right? Also, and you guys get a license or a royalty for whatever I sell. Right. And then you go to the players and say, like, hey, promote this. Right. And it helps them with the licensing and royalties. Right. But also you can make money off all the followers that want to wear a logo of their favorite live team. Right. You know
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Did you see the Trump sleeve?
I didn't see that one yet.
Yeah, Trump golf course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
I think it's just the official Trump
national
golf
one.
Yeah. My buddy's close with the family.
Okay.
With Trump's family. Yeah. So he, I was like, hey man, I don't know if he's gonna wear it. Like I asked, I was like, look, I don't care if he wears it or not. I just want to make it. Yeah. And just, hey, give it to whoever you want. Yeah. Like I do a lot of that. It's like, hey, it's like investing. It's like, hey, I invested $400 or $500 and it doesn't pan out the way I want. It's worth the risk. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a small amount.
It's a small amount for a bigger upside. Right. So it's better than going to a blackjack table. You know.
It is true.
Yeah.
Hey, so before we end the podcast today, I have one golf question.
Yes.
Okay. So I play golf at least once a week, if not more than once a week. And how often should you change your wedges?
So you say you play golf once a week?
At least.
How many times did you practice with it?
I mean, you see me like sometimes I just hit it with the range or down at the simulator. So
I'll give you a kind of a complicated answer. So if you practice on the mats a lot, I would like check the lie angle a lot. Okay. Because what people don't realize is when you hit on the mats a lot, it alters the balance and the degrees.
I see. So
sometimes you might get this. You're like, I don't know why I'm hitting my 8-iron like so much further. Yeah. It's because if you're hitting on the mat a lot, it could deal off the club. So that's number one. But if you're just hitting off the grass, I mean, once a week, I would say like after like once every like 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah, if you're playing once a week. I was changing my wedges every 3 months.
Yeah.
But I also had access to get wedges. But once every 3 months, I would change the actual 60 degree. I would have 3 different 60 degrees for different courses. So if the grass at Porter, for instance, it's Kukuya, it's very like clean. Grass is a little higher. I want a higher bounce, which is like 8 to 10. If we go to play shadow and it's thin, I might be looking at a 4 to 6 bounce because if the ground is bare and the bounce is high, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But if the bounce is lower, it looks like that.
Yeah.
So the turf, the club interaction with the ball is easier.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I answered your question, but
No, you did, because also for the grooves, I feel like I get less spin now, and I don't know, like it's because I haven't switched my wedges. I think the last time I switched wedges about a year ago. So
maybe it's time for you to switch wedges.
because
Also,
I would say I did play more than one. I would say I play more than once a week on average for the year. So
ball matters too, by the way.
ball.
What you said you're playing the Chrome Softs?
Yeah.
The soccer ball?
Yeah.
If you want a little more spin, I recommend you going to the Chrome Soft X tour.
Okay.
I'll get you a box.
All right.
Get you a box.
Cool. That's a good thing to know. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching Drive and Thrive. We will have more episodes, and we're, like I said, excited about the filming of our golf match in Vegas in mid-February. We will try to do more of that as well, because this one we're doing with Angelo and the Scared Money co-host with mine. But in the future, we'll do some golfing with like LPGA pros and different pros like that.
For sure.
And it'll be kind of fun, I think.
I'm excited.
All right. Thanks.
Peace.